Hello students, I'm Nikita ma'am and I'm here to teach you computer subject. Students, you all know the importance of computer. But do you know that to learn computers, you need to know its language? Confused? Don't worry, I'm here to teach you computer language. Students, computer is a machine and it does not know any alphabets like A, B, C, K, K, G, G. So, how is it taking our instructions and giving back perfect answers? So, these all important things we will learn in this chapter. Okay, so let's get started. Chapter 1, Computer Fundamentals, Session 1. A computer system can be considered to be made up of two main components, the hardware and the software. All the physical devices such as the monitor, the keyboard and the CPU that we can touch and feel comprise the hardware components. See, the hardware components alone cannot do anything. These components have to be given instructions to perform any task. Those instructions you can give by the software. Software is a set of programs and related data that are used to give instructions to the hardware. But students, software or any programs are written using computer languages. Here, classification of computer languages are given with two broad categories. Low level languages and second one is high level languages. Low level languages. These programming languages are designed for particular computer architecture. Particular computer architecture means the program is made for only that machine in which it is written. It will not work in any other machine or you can say in any other computer. Low-level languages can be divided into two categories: machine language and assembly language. So students, what is machine languages? Here some points are given. First point, machine language is the language in which instructions are given in the form of zeros and ones. It means this language is written by only zeros and ones strings. Second point, understood by computer without any translations. This is machine language and machine language easily understand without any translations. Third point, it is very fast to execute the program because there is no need to translate anything. Fourth point, it is very difficult for programmers to write programs because we cannot understand zeros and ones words. Programmers are writing their words or programs in English or mathematical language. So it is very difficult for programmers to write the language in zeros and ones. Last point, the program written in one computer may not work on another computer. It means machine language is machine dependent language. What is an assembly language? Instructions are given in the form of abbreviated words called mnemonics. Instead of zeros and ones, mnemonics are used in assembly language. For example, LD is used for loading a program. MOV is used for moving data. ADD is used for adding data. So these are some commands which we can write in the program with the assembly language. It is very easy to write a program compared to machine language because these commands are in English language and we can easily understand these commands. Machine language is dependent on zeros and ones, so it is very easy as compared to machine language. Next point, this is also machine dependent language. It means on any other computer it will not work. The last point, it requires a translator known as assembler to execute a program because machine can understand only zeros and ones language. So these English words need to be translated by the translator known as assembler. High-level languages. It is the language in which programs are written using English words and mathematical symbols. It is very easy for programmers. Programmers can write their programs in English words and mathematical symbols to complete their task. So based on high-level language, we can create many web pages or applications, and it is working by different languages in the high-level language that we will see in the next slide. Some examples of high-level languages are given here. Basic, Fortran, C, C++, Java, Python, Visual Basic, Delphi, Perl, PHP, etc. So these are some languages on which we can write program, we can create some websites, application or any task given to us. One note is given here, students. Check it properly. These languages also require translators for converting the program into machine language, and it is known as compilers or interpreters. As we have seen before, assembly languages also needs translator, that is assembler, and high level language require the translator, that is called compiler or interpreter. Advantages of high level language. Understandability. Easier to read and understand for programmers because it is in English words or mathematical symbols. Second, debugging. Debugging means what? So by the debugging option, we can easily find errors from the program and we can remove errors from the program. Third, portability. Portability, it means machine independent. Like before we have seen, machine language and assembly languages are machine dependent language, but this high level language is machine independent language. It means program written in one computer can be executed on any other computer with minor changes or no changes. It means you can take your program from one computer by using pen drive or CD or cable wire to another computer and you can execute there also. The new topic, binary number system. The computer can only understand the binary or machine language, which consists of zeros and ones. The computer is an electronic machine and thus knows about only two stages. On, that is represented by 1, and off, that is represented by 0. You can see the image on is represented by 1 and off is represented by 0. This number system is different from the decimal number system that we use in everyday mathematics as 0 to 9 digits. Students, you all are aware about 0 to 9 digits which we are using in everyday mathematics. But here in the binary number system, we will use only 2 digits, that is 0 and 1. Students, did you know Gottfried Leibniz, a German mathematician, is credited with the invention of the binary number system. So you all are aware about units like 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. But in the binary number system, units of information are expressed as multiples of bits, that is 0 and 1. For example, 1 nibble is equal to 4 beats, 1 byte is equal to 8 beats, 1 kilobyte or 1 KB is equal to 1024 bytes, 1 megabyte or 1 MB is equal to 1024 KB, 1 gigabyte or 1 GB is equal to 1024 MB, 1 terabyte or 1 TB is equal to 1024 GB, 1 petabyte or 1 PB is equal to 1024 TB, 1 exabyte or 1 EB is equal to 1024 PB, 1 zettabyte or 1 ZB is equal to 1024 EB, 1 yottabyte or 1 YB is equal to 1024 ZB. These are the binary number system units. Here you can say that the smallest unit is 1 nibble and the biggest unit is 1 yottabyte or 1 YB. These units are very important as the exam point of view. So please revise again and again. So here we have differentiation between decimal number system and binary number system. So first is decimal number system is with base 10 and binary number system is with base 2. Second point, the decimal number contains 0 to 9 digits, which is known as numbers. The binary number contains only 2 digits, 0 and 1, and it is known as bits. Now students, we have two types of sums in this chapter: converting decimal number to binary number and converting binary number to decimal number. So here first we are taking converting decimal number system, which is human understandable, to binary number system, which is machine understandable. You can see the video here. We have to divide the decimal number by 2 repeatedly and write remainder on the right hand side. You can see in the video in the right hand side the remainder, and we are dividing the numbers by 2 only because the base of binary number system is 2. The remainders have to be read from bottom to top to form the binary number system? See, the answer is like from bottom to top. Here you can see I have marked the answer from bottom 10100000. So the decimal number 160 is converted into the binary number 10100000. That is your answer. Let's see one more example which is given in your textbook also.
So here is the first example of converting decimal number to binary number. 175 is decimal number which is containing base 10, and we have to convert it into the binary with base 2. So as I told you before, we will divide it by 2 repeatedly and we will write
Remainder on the right hand side.
Okay, so let's start. If we will divide 175 by 2, so we will get quotient 87
and remainder 1. Now divide 87 by 2. So quotient 43 and remainder 1. Now again divide by 2. So quotient 21 and remainder 1. Again divide by 2. So quotient 10 and remainder 1. Divide by 2. Quotient 5. Remainder 0. Again divide by 2. Quotient 2 and remainder 1. Last divide by 2. Quotient 1 and remainder 0.
So the process is over, but the answer we will get by reading
the remainder from bottom to top.
Bottom to top, it means from here, from last one. So the answer will be, see, from bottom to top. So the answer is 10101111. Answer 10101111 and base 2. Okay.
So I hope you understood the calculation of converting decimal number to binary number. Here I am giving you homework. 5 examples. These are the decimal numbers 38, 168, 199, 289, 78. These decimal numbers you need to convert into the binary numbers. In the next session, I will give you the answer to tally with your answer. Okay? Thank you. Take care. See you in the next session.